Hi guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel, and for those that are new here, you're in the right place. In today's video, we're talking all about £1 million. For many, this is the number. You want £1 million a year, you want £1 million net worth. Well, today we're drilling down what £1 million in net profit in a company is going to get you in the UK. So if you get that £1 million, pay all the necessary taxes and have it, spend it all, what does it actually look like? And for a typical family, for a typical individual, just how far does it get you? Spoiler alert, not as far as you think. So here we're not talking about private jets and very, very big yachts. It's definitely a lot more modest than that, but ultimately watch to the end just to see what you think. Before we get started, please do hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos that we post. So starting off, you've got £1 million profit in your company. It's been a great year, £1 million profit. What does that look like? Well, first off, you've got to pay tax on this in your limited company. So the tax on this under corporation tax in the UK, you'd obviously have your 50,019 and whatnot. I won't bore you, it's basically £250,000. So of that million, a quarter of it is already gone over in corporation tax to the taxman. So £750,000 left, which we can pay out as a dividend. Usually you'll have a small salary, but we're not going to worry about this. We've got £1 million. We don't care about £1,000 or two in actual tax savings. Keep the numbers nice and simple for everybody. So £250,000 in dividends. And obviously as a UK taxpayer, you will pay income tax on these dividends. Assuming it's your only income, you'd actually have to pay £277,300 in tax on this. And what that is going to do is leave you with £472,700. So as you can see, before we've even spent any of our money, over half of that £1 million has gone to the tax man. You know, it's like Monopoly, do not pass go, collect 200, where in this case, give £500,000 to the tax man. So anyway, here we are, we've got 472k left basically. That's what we've got. We've paid all our tax on that £1 million. So, you know, this is where people say, if you want £1 million to live off, don't forget to basically double it for the tax man, because as you can see, £1 million after taxes is half that. But assuming that you want £1 million house, so, you know, you've got £1 million in your profit in your business, you want a £1 million crib. So assuming that you say put a 20% deposit down, you've got an £800,000 or so mortgage. At the minute, with interest rates how they are, about 4 or 5%, that's going to cost you about £4,500 a month. So say 55k a year, just on the mortgage payments at the minute on an £800,000 house. By the time you add our household bills, council tax, that's probably another £15,000 or so. So already, just on accommodation, just on taxes, we've got well over half. We're another 70,000 on just the essentials, and we really are starting to run out of actually what we've got left. So as you will see as we run through this, but £1 million doesn't really get you that much. You'll see that when you add children into the mix as well, private school, that's even more. And then continuing on, assuming that you get a relatively modest car here, so perhaps a Range Rover, a Bentley Continental, maybe both. Obviously, if you got a partner, wife, you'll be paying for their car as well, most likely. So if you get a Range Rover with insurance, leasing, petrol as well, that's probably going to cost you about £30,000 a year, all in on the running cost side of it. Bentley Continental, perhaps the Range Rover for the missus, the Bentley Continental for yourself. Here you're probably looking at about 42,000. Obviously these numbers aren't exact, but that's for leasing the car, insuring it, petrol as well. So as you can see, the money, you know, these are big numbers, but they're not as much as you would think. So you can see that their numbers are going down. We can see the amount of money we've got to spend is going down. A holiday every quarter, I've said they're about £20,000. Obviously, some people might think that's excessive, but remember, if you are earning £1 million, if you're a married couple with 2 children, these are very easy numbers. You're probably on the low end if you want to live that higher life. But £20,000, realistically, that is not chartering that's not chartering a private jet unless you're going somewhere in Europe. A private jet to somewhere in Europe is probably 10 grand on its own, plus decent accommodation. That's no spending money. If you wanted to go longer haul on a private jet, Dubai, somewhere like that, it's pretty closer to £70,000. So if you're earning £1 million profit after you've paid your tax, private jet travel, long haul isn't in the question. You can't afford that. Europe, you can a little bit. But for a holiday every quarter, £20,000, so 80k a year on holidays. And then obviously eating out most days as well. So if you're going out in the evenings, entertaining, meeting new people, say for instance, a couple of £100 a day, put about 70k a year. A lot of people, high level entrepreneurs, they don't really cook at home that often. They're on the road, they're meeting new people, they are eating out every day. Because why would you want to waste your time cooking when you've got that much disposable income? You want to free up your time and enjoy your time. So you eat out, you meet new people, because that drives future revenue. And then again, school fees with 2 children as well, 20k a pop, 40k a year. And let's see where we're added up to on this so far. So at the minute we've got this is what the list got written out, because I know I'd remember all of these numbers in my head. We've got 54,000 for the mortgage, 15 for the council tax and utilities. Then we've got 30 for the car, 42 for the other car, 80 for the holidays, 70 for eating out. And then we've got 40,000 for the children's school fees, and then say about £500 a week, miscellaneous, small things, whatever it might be. And then actually that takes us to just under £350,000 approximately. But then you probably do want to save. So if you did want to save, according to Google, the average millionaire saves about 25% of their income. Obviously, there are more tax efficient ways of doing this rather than pulling it out, paying tax on it and then investing it. But assuming that you've already done a good amount of that, to be risk averse, obviously having some savings in your own name is a good thing to do. So if you saved a quarter of your income, about £118,000, then actually that's all of your income gone already. So let's recap that. So that £1 million, how does it actually look when it comes to what you get out of it? So that £1 million, you lose a quarter of it in corporation tax. 25% of that million goes in corporation tax. And then about another 277 or so goes in income tax, well over half. You're left with about £470,000 approximately after that 1 million. Say for instance you save a quarter of this, that's 120k approximately gone. You buy a nice house, mortgage payments, council tax, utility bills, that's another 70 out of that. Plus the car, get one for your girlfriend or your wife, that's another 70 on cars, the Range Rover and the Bentley, not even crazy cars, I'm not talking Bugatti, Ferrari, Lamborghini. And then we look at holidays as well, 20 grand aside, not private jet travel. You know, especially if you're paying for somebody else, 20 grand, 2 first class tickets to Dubai, that's 10 grand just there. And then children's school fees as well, if you've got kids involved, that's 40 grand. So honestly, you can see here, £1 million a year, once you pay your taxes in the UK, will get you a good life, but not a great life, not the life you're dreaming of when it comes to flying private everywhere, having yachts, not just small yachts, we're talking 100-metre yachts, chartering them for weeks at a time. That costs probably about £150,000 a week. If you're earning £1 million a year, you can't afford to do any of that stuff. When I looked through these numbers and actually crunched it down, I was shocked at really how little it gets you. So here it's a case of, well, you need to earn a lot more money if you want to be UK resident and live that kind of lifestyle, or actually move to Dubai. So if you had that £1 million in Dubai, you would have all of that £1 million. There'd be no corporation tax, most likely, no income tax on that. You could actually double the quality of your life without having to do anything else. Yeah, of course you could argue, you know, the 120 or so that you're saving, you don't need to do that if you're earning that much money potentially, and you can obviously use that for different things. But even then, if you think you're earning £1 million, the stereotype is that you can basically afford to do anything you want, whenever, wherever, jets, cars, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, the lot. But realistically, even with that 120, what else are you going to do with that? You might chart one jet, you might get a yacht for a week, but that's it, and then that's soon gone. So it kind of shows you the limitations that £1 million actually gets you here in the UK, because you do lose a big proportion of it in taxes. Of course, as I mentioned, if you're in Dubai or another tax-free country, then you would basically have all of that money yourself. And then really, in my opinion, that changes things, because all of the things that we've mentioned there, you know, you double it in terms of what income you have. So really, if you had £1 million after taxes or no taxes, that does change things. You can afford private jet travel. You probably can get a decent yacht a couple of weeks a year. So it's really about kind of planning your lifestyle to make sure that you do have that end in mind, but factoring in the taxes. Because when we work with clients in the past and they said, okay, this is what we want, we added it up, they said, okay, we need 50,000, we might need £250,000, but by the time you factor in the taxes, you probably need double that in a lot of cases. Anyway, that's it for today's video. What do you think? Is £1 million enough? How would you spend £1 million? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. As always, hope you've enjoyed this video, so please do give it a big thumbs up and make sure you subscribe. Bye for now.